The boy child has been forgotten in many ways.
The boys have so many problems coming out from their home.
We need men to come on board and form the man in this boy.
From the dawn of history and of time, men have stood up and protected communities, designed destinies and shaped history. They have been the vanguards of moral life and of innovation, vanguards of faith and of economy. Seemingly, that was then. That was history. By most indications, it's a bad time to be a boy in Kenya. The achievement of Goldeline Kakuya, the top student in the 2017 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, KCPE, has become to symbolize the resilient spirit of Kenyan girls. On the other hand, endless hooliganism has been taken to symbolize the spirit of Kenyan boys. Simply being a boy has become a serious liability. Society has lost patience with the boy, finding them too tedious to educate. They have thus dominated undesirable lists, dropout lists, failure lists, remand lists, prison cell lists, and even they dominate lists at the mortuary.
Another case is of a boy. They were together with his sister in the same class. And I could see that the boy was neglected, unlike the girl. But the sister, I realized the sister could get everything. And at one point, I even called the mother. But the mother just said, this child does not have any problem. At one point, the boy decided enough is enough. He had even decided to commit suicide. This is because he felt that he is left out. The father had died out of a road accident, and the only person that he knew was the mother, who was not really there for him. And they had a foster father who did not want this boy. The boy felt now enough is enough.
I don't know where along the way it is like also the men also disappeared somehow. I don't know what really happened.
A while ago, as I was shopping in one of the supermarkets here in Nairobi at night, nowadays we have 24-hour shopping, I met a parent, and he said, "Hello, Mwalim," and I said, "I'm very well." And it was about 11:30 going to midnight, and it was on a Saturday evening. And then he shocked me by asking me, because of course he's a parent at our school, asking me, "How are the boys?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because in my mind, I knew the boys have left on Thursday for the midterm. So when I told him the boys are at home, it's him who's supposed to be telling me how the boys are, he was shocked. You could see the face, he just dropped it and all that. And he apologized for that, and he left. That is a very big example. Where was he? The boy landed home on Thursday. There was Friday morning breakfast, there was lunch, there was evening, there was Friday night, there was Saturday morning, a whole long opportunity. And he didn't know that his own son was on midterm from school.
Girls and women are shattering old barriers and competing in spaces that were traditionally the preserve of boys, and the boys are unable to keep up. They are unprepared for a world where they have to compete with both boys and girls.
One of the boys was brought to me on sort of a punishment basis. He was almost being suspended. And I said, "What has happened to him?" And I was told it's been noticed that over the time now he does not attend the morning worship. So I asked him, "My son, what is the problem? Why don't you attend the morning worship?" And he said, "Because I don't feel comfortable praying anymore. I don't feel comfortable attending the morning worship. I don't belong there." And I was shocked. I said, "Wow, why?" He said, "Because I'm an atheist." And I said, "Well, an atheist, do you know what an atheist is?" And the only thing he told me is that an atheist is somebody who does not believe in God. And he told me a long story. And I told him, "No, If you know there is God, you're not an atheist. Anyway, we had a long discussion after that. What I discovered is that he was actually emulating his only role model, his father, because his father had lapsed from church, and his father never attends mass or any church anymore, and he thought it was a good thing. He thought it's a cool thing.
Boys are therefore escaping this confusing and unsupportive world. They have retreated to the bedroom, to drugs, to pornography, and to substance abuse. They have stopped showing up anymore. In these spaces, they find few or no role models or persons willing to walk with them, and are left neglected to figure out life and their identity on their own.
We have a big number of young men seeking treatment and rehabilitation in our centers. And it is now unlike before, because we used to have like mature people from 35 up to around 40 getting into rehabs. But nowadays we have as young as a Form 2 boy being brought for rehabilitation. And it is quite alarming.
The question is, who will form the next generation of young men to assume leadership roles in the community? From future husbands and fathers. In Kenya, a study has shown that 6 out of every 10 Kenyan women are likely to be single mothers by the time they reach 45 years, one of the highest rates for single parents in Africa.
Many times mothers are blamed as part of the problem in bringing up the boy child. But let me ask this question. What else does a mother know except nurturing? A mother nurtures, but at a certain point, the boy grows and the man needs to step in to give him the father or the male ego, the male in the boy. So the mother comes in just to give the nurturing, and that is why even at 30 years, 40 years, if my son comes home, he's still my son, my child. But the father should be there to step in and remind the mother that even as he is still a son, he is a man. And this is what we are lacking as women. We need men to come on board and form the man in this boy. And that I cannot give as a woman.
Children from fatherless or disengaged fathers' homes are more likely to be poor, become involved in drug and alcohol abuse, drop out of school, and suffer from health and emotional problems. Boys are more likely to become involved in crime, with 7 out of 10 juvenile prisoners having one thing in common: lack of fathers or a poor relationship with their fathers, while girls are more likely to become pregnant as teenagers, among other emotional challenges. This dark cloud is further intensified by the virtual extinction of male educators and other competent male role models. The Beacon Boys program was envisioned by His Eminence John Cardinal Njue in a move to empower young boys to become builders of strong families and a prosperous society.
I feel very concerned with regard to the present situation. Somewhere along the line, the boy child seems somewhat, shall I use the word, neglected. While the girl child, I think it seems to be quite enthusiastic, because he's also kind of properly accompanied. And I think this must help us to fall back to where we are coming from. I remember even when I was small, in our culture it was quite clear, it was put very clear. Let the boys stay with the father and let the girls stay with the mother. And in that kind of situation, they were properly accompanied.
The program will be parish-based and will aim to build a committed and responsible boy child supported by an empowered man, capable and willing to take up his role in the society, and will target boys between 9 to 13 years and 14 to 17 years of age.
Through this project, we would want to see young boys empowered to go through their education programs. It is a project that will support high retention and participation of these boys, trying to reduce the school dropout that has seen a good number of these boys get lost.
Of course, each and every parish will be expected to come up with this program to support these boys, all over, even from our communities, so that they may feel that they are brought together and they are uplifted each and every day of their life. So I invite everybody to come on board, and we support even from the parishes to the deanery level and to the archdiocese level, and through the guidance of these two offices, Caritas and the pastoral office, and through the chaplain of CMA, and the programs we are coming up to support men in Catholic Men Association and SDP, that things will be okay so that we support the boy child.
As fathers in the society, we want to ensure that we mentor the young ones, because for so long, and I must say this, that the boy child has not been so neglected, but again, not much attention has been given to boys. And that is why, as a team, we want to work on this project.
The Catholic Men Association will take leadership in the program and act as role models by supporting young men to make a healthy transition to adult manhood.
If I'm to give an example, when the episode of Transfiguration and the God the Father talks about, "Behold, my beloved Son," this is a message that would wish majority of the men, indeed all of the men, to confess this, that behold, this is my beloved Son with whom I'm well pleased. And when this message goes into the ears of the boys, as they grow to become young men, they grow with that pride that walks with them.
We need to empower boy child, because family is not one person, but family is composed of both husband and wife. So as we empower the girl, also the boy need also to be brought up. We need complete family. We need complete family, not half. So it's important that the boy also should feel that he is taken care of.
When a godly man mentors a boy, then the work of salvation continues and a sure foundation is laid, which is none other than the perfect man himself, Christ. A Christian mentor is thus the bridge and the departure point from which a boy develops a loving relationship with God and reaches fulfillment by living out the dream God had for him when he knit him in his mother's womb.